the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
Welcome back to the Hishaku Hideout, a weekly podcast where we talk about the latest chapter and everything Kagurabachi. I'm here with Dice.
Yo.
And as a special treat, we actually have the Kabanabi headquarters coming in for a guest appearance, Cal and Karasu. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, we all right. Y'all want to plug y'all's channels, anything at the top? Let the people know where to find you.
Yeah, so Kamanabe headquarters. That's the name of our YouTube channel. Check us out. Also check out Cal's stuff. You know, she's the Kagurabachi girl of YouTube, of course.
Yes, Cal can at Cal cannot.
Okay, so can Cal can or can Cal not?
Okay.
It depends.
That's like a woodchucker thing.
I'm gonna say ¿Por qué no los dos?
Hey, I like that.
Okay, I'm gonna say no mommies, okay?
No mames.
My wife's Spanish, but I don't know a lick of Spanish besides that. But Dice, today we are talking about the first chapter, part 2, chapter 113, and it's a banger. I'll let Dice kind of segue us into the chapter.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, agreed. So yeah, this chapter just goes straight into a lot of the questions that we've been having for a while now. It is a flashback, and we start with Shikoku presenting itself in February 18th. And it's, there's more lore added to this, plenty, considering the whole thing is a flashback. And there's even a third island now, and this is Irishima, which is actually between mainland Japan and Shikoku. It is part of the Chiba prefecture, and apparently for 38 hours, there was like earthquakes once Shikoku presented itself, and Datanski actually became available, or kind of like appeared in that island as well,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I guess we'll start with Cal here. Cal, what are your thoughts on the chapter, immediate reactions? What do you think?
Well, so when I opened the chapter and I saw like February 18th, blah, 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 and I was like, oh my gosh, because it's the thing, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, when I tell you, I was like losing my mind. I was so excited because oh my gosh, I actually like predicted this too, which I'm guessing some people also were, but like I never get my predictions for like what's coming up next, right?
I feel
so
that.
It felt good.
Flashback to a time skip. I had a feeling.
What did you think, Karasu?
Good, baby.
So first off, can we all just take a second to appreciate the simplicity of the English chapter title?
Oh yeah.
Rock.
Like a rock. Oh, I thought Dwayne Johnson was gonna pop up.
And then also, whoever this stitch-headed guy is, he looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that design.
He got the swim cap and the goggles. Ooh, that's Michael Phelps.
We get this interesting perspective
he gotta
on,
be
like the Islanders.
He has to be pretty badass too, because he faced the Shikoku natives on Hiroshima to get that Datanski or that
missing
little
is an arm.
fragment, and all he's missing is an arm, which is pretty impressive. We still see like Sheba just cuts him down pretty easily. The dude,
He
Yeah.
didn't even fight back
Sheba.
against Sheba. He's like, I know who you are. You're the
he said,
watchdog
step on my
of
face
the
and
Sojo
burn me.
clan."
Yeah, no, and we'll get into that, right? Like the whole guardian of the Soga clan, the implications in that. I was originally of the mind that there wasn't much of a relationship between Sheba and somebody like Soga compared to the relationship like with Azami and Kunishige. And it looks like there's a lot more to that relationship than what we thought. So yeah, and like you guys say, this bald cap sorcerer dude, must have been a problem to get past by these assassins, these Shikoku assassins. Once again, the Shikoku are painted in this very, hostile light, right? Like they were originally called savages, and now they're called assassins. We know we've seen what civilians in Shikoku look like, right? So I can't help but feel like this is more of like just kind of hyping that, or like, let's say, spreading that propaganda, if you want to call it that. Like, I think Hokuzono's being very intentional in how he's painting these Shikoku that we're seeing here.
Everybody gets kind of derogatory terms. Even Kunishige got caught astray. This chap, he's like, he's a low life weapons dealer. Everybody's gonna get it. And I'm gonna call this guy David Swimmer.
When they brought up weapons dealer, I totally thought of Sojo.
Same until I remembered that he
first immediate thought was Sojo.
But we know he was a kid, right? So it's like that's like, but I jumped to the same conclusion. I was like, oh,
just
Sojo?
the wording of it.
Yeah, they talk about him like he's Sojo. That's very fun.
The
that threw me off
made it even harder not to see that connection there, because it was like this young brat is just a stupid arms dealer or something like that. Or these kids are just arms dealers.
No, that threw me so off, because I never thought of like a weapons dealer being something to describe Kunishige, but I guess that makes sense because swords.
Also, I mean, very intentional from Hokuzono's, I think, as well. The similarity to Sojo, I think that was very intentional considering what we know about Sojo. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, and how Sojo feels about Kunishige.
Yep.
I mean, Sojo himself is an arms dealer by trade. His view of the enchanted blades and their usage of them is pretty interesting parallel, considering how part 2 starting, and that was like in the beginning of part 1. I do have a question for y'all. Now, David Swimmer, the sorcerer here, right? He lost his arm. If y'all lost an arm, do y'all think y'all would tie up the sleeve, or y'all think y'all would let it dangle? Because he tied it up in a little knot.
I'd probably let it dangle, I think.
I'd let that little hangle dang. I'd let that thing hang.
I think I'd also
okay, guys.
I like I like when my sleeves are long, so I'd be fine with it.
Imagine how like disrespectful it is to fight someone and they just slap you with a sleeve. I'm just saying that was on my mind. Intrusive thoughts 1. But getting serious though, I think like I talked to a little bit about this with Dice before y'all hopped in the call. They talk about Shikoku as if they're an advanced nation, with like the usage of Datanski and all that. So what would be the reason for them to show themselves like at this point, if that were the case? And my thought, or the headcanon theory I'm going with, is like they were running low on resources, and they need to influence another like chunk of land to be able to mine Datanski from. And maybe that's where this comes into play. Hiroshima an uninhabited island. Maybe they thought they can get away with just influencing it, getting the ore from it, and then dipping away or something. So that's just my kind of thought of like, if they're so advanced, why would they show themselves now? You know what I mean?
That would make sense.
I think it's a pretty stable headcanon. So from what we know now, at least.
That's pretty stable headcanon. Well, and also, if you think about it, it would kind of make sense if they are burning up the Datanski as a resource, because if you look back on all of the pictures of them, of any islander that might be in like fight mode, so you know how like when the enchanted blades are about to burn up, they have that black energy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you've noticed, just about every picture of the islanders, when they have that aura around them from the Datanski, it's always like burning black. And so it almost makes me wonder if like every time they use Datanski to fight, they just burn it up.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's very possible. And I mean, that would, inherently be that. I mean, that's going to amp anybody up to, because we saw just how much of a jump like Samura got with using that black energy. So if they're using the, like the natural raw ore and they're burning it up till it's all gone, I could see that definitely being the case. And it also maybe allows them it cloaks them in like that, that black spiritual energy. So so they don't look human like when we see them on as assassins, as they say, or when they first encroached on Japanese soil, in the flashback from part 1. But when we see them on Shikoku, they just look regular, like humans.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I agree with what you're saying, Ty. I think right now, considering the little we know, right, just this one chapter and the previous flashbacks we've gotten, I think that is a very plausible theory. We do know that Datanski is a very finite resource. So it does make sense that they were potentially running out and had to like either mine it or farm it, whatever you want to call it, essentially, produce more. And Irishima was the place kind of leading to what we're seeing in this chapter, right? We know that the government from Japan has sent people to retrieve it, at least kind of like set up shop there. And even then they had sorcerers. They were having sorcerers that were also retrieving Datanski. Originally, the guy who's kind of asking questions to the swimmer cap guy, sorcerer, let's call him.
Swimmer.
he does wonder if he got into trouble with the government that had set up shop there, and that's when he explains that no, it was the assassins from Shikoku who he had to run in with, and was still able to retrieve Datanski. So why they're there is a very important question that I definitely think we'll get to in this arc.
Yeah, and one thing that David Swimmer talks about is they submerged from the ocean, from the depths of the ocean. I think he's just talking out of his ass. Because he doesn't know, or he can't conceptualize the possibility that they can cloak an entire island, but they might have been just being able to use that barrier, and they might be able to just cloak the island that way, but that might also use a great deal of Datanski. So maybe that's because we know that they look human, and this could also be why this could be the starting discourse of the royal family of Shikoku. Maybe some people wanted them to handle it differently instead of just trying to influence this Japanese island, even though it's uninhabited, without actually making connection to the government or something. Maybe there was some discourse on how the royal family should handle it, and they disagree with the option they chose to just do it, and that's what now there's these string of events happening, because we know that there was issues with the royal family.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that to the Japanese at this point, it is as if the island has just appeared. So at first, I had this thought that when they brought that up, that maybe that it was just kind of propaganda on the Japanese government part. But
yeah, I think everybody
the Japanese government, it seems the island really did just appear, because they have no idea how it got there.
So we were literally, it was kind of painted the Kabunabi and the government were just crooked and selling us a false narrative. Well, I mean, they did sell a false narrative with Soga, but
yes,
the beginning of the war, it's it's crazy how it muddles what actually happened. I mean, I think that you get that a lot. The history is dictated by the winner type of thing.
Yep.
And it is interesting though. The last thing I'll say is Sheba being the one to introduce Kunishige to Datanski, and the string of events that led to of Kunishige's life.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how
I think that is interesting for sure.
Do you think he feels guilty for the enchanted blades coming into existence?
I mean, now he's enabling his son to go down this road.
He's never beating the allegations, bro.
Yeah. He's hot, but he's
we can admit that.
Hey, there's progress. There's progress, Tiberius.
There we go.
Look, Cal, I'm doing it for you. I don't want to
okay, buddy. Yeah.
I don't want Cal to beat my ass.
I can fight.
Oh yeah, you look like the total badass. I'm sure everyone at school was hiding their lunch money from you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Bully Cal.
They're like,
Didn't
there's
you hear
Cal.
him,
Her house
6'4"?
just appeared
That's
out of
crazy.
nowhere.
Yeah, so
it's pretty crazy, this chapter, man. I'm looking forward to what Hokuzono has in store for us, because this first chapter is just thought-provoking.
I'm honestly really glad we didn't just jump right into a Reforge arc.
same.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's
I think
cool.
this is a perfectly timed flashback arc in my eyes.
Yep.
This is our hidden inventory.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
yes, we're finally.
the flashback arcs act as such good like transitions into like other time frames, because like I'm reading Naruto, right, and they have like Kakashi's flashback in the middle of like the beginning and then like the time skip or whatever, and I think it works so well as like a oh wow, you know. I think the war being here is like it's such a perfect spot for it after like
It really is.
it really
Ooh,
is just
no.
perfect, because it's like we have the just enough foundation to where it's like we were really interested in what was happening, but it's good that we didn't really get it any sooner, because it's like I think it's cool that you care about the characters and then you get the flashback to like understand everything, because we're entering
Yeah.
a whole new era, and I feel like just having that understanding going into it is going to be so awesome.
That's a good point.
I have a question for
'cause
y'all.
I told you,
So-
bro. I'm not single.
So, do y'all think we're after this flashback? Here's a question: do you think we're gonna get to see Chihiro actually reforge Cloud Gouger and N10, or do you think it's just gonna jump right into him having the swords reforged, or the sword? We don't know if he's doing just one.
Dice. I haven't let Dice cook on this one.
That's a good question. It's tough for me to say. If I had to say, I think we'll see it forged already. I think he'll already be wielding it by the time we see him, and then we might potentially get another flashback that kind of sees how that process kind of looked like. I just think it's more likely that we jump right back into action, kind of similar to like the first chapters of Kagurabachi, like part 1. I think next time we see Chihiro, he's already gonna be moving, and he's gonna be up to like his Batman shit. So that's the
Or
way that's how I see it now. But I think we'll eventually see that forging.
Oh shit! They introduced the Hakari and Hiyuki sitting figures.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, they just introduced.
Wait, oh my gosh, pause, what?
But Hiyuki,
Wait.
She's so excited.
wait, oh my god, send them to me.
it's a real reaction. Dude.
Yeah, January.
gosh. Oh my gosh, what?
Exclusive.
Yeah. And,
Wait, can we buy them yet?
can we buy them yet? I'm sure you could pre-order them.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to.
Probably for like
You don't-
90
oh my
bucks
gosh.
each one.
Too.
Give
Nah,
me
those
that
are
link.
probably
I'm
30
getting
bucks.
that Hiyuki.
They're Sega prizes. They're 25, 30 bucks.
Okay.
Hey.
I used to run an anime figure game show. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, I'll take your word for
but-
it.
Dice, I do agree with you that it's already gonna be like forged, whatever it is. And you know, almost I could see where like it cuts to like present time, and Hokuzono is showing us like a villain group or maybe like an enemy clan, and then right when it's, you know, the innocent civilian or the person captured is about to get hurt, we just see a lightning dragon fish come across the screen. And it's
Lightning
Chihiro
dragon
looking
fish.
badass. But you know, that I do think, back to Cal's point about like the flashback is like the perfect time for this, because we're waiting for a huge development, and the thing about that huge development was Chihiro seeing what kind of sword he needs to make, the justice through his eyes. What does the world need for justice at that very moment? Now we get to see Kunishige discovering that very, you know, answering that same question, and that is the whole like crux of this whole thing, like that brings on this like discussion about the enchanted blades. So this is going to answer a lot of questions for us. I'm sure we're going to leave this arc with more questions, but we'll at least have like, you know, questions we've been having for 50 plus chapters answered, you know. And yeah, I really like this direction. I do have a question for y'all. You know, me and Dice have a bet here, and will we see Ibiki Misaka's face in part 2? Because I'm hoping the goat pops up, you know, in 2 chapters.
Yes.
Wow, we're
Looking
gonna see that
handsome as hell.
glorious
Yes, he
dad
will.
gut.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, he's in shape here. He's you know, he's big fine. He's big fine. This one,
I
you know.
just want to see the powers of the other 2 swords already.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
see Ibuki's face.
There we go. See, put in the
Not you
comment section
too.
what you think. If
Oh,
you
me
think
too.
Ibiki-
Oh, me too.
No,
Man,
you know what
like
I
that
wanna
back.
see?
No
You know what
one
I
looks
want to
that
see?
good
I
from
want to see more
behind.
random goons getting shot up into the sky like Soya by Sheba.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
some of that this chapter.
got
You're getting
some.
fed. You're getting
And
fed.
David, David Swimmer got like a humiliation kink going on with Sheba. And that brings into like question this new character, Mashiro. He looks like a Blue Lock character. But
He kind of does.
what the fuck is
That's
Blue
what I
Lock
was
even
gonna
about?
say. He looks like he's
The manga.
Uh,
But like me and Dice were kind of talking like if he's gonna make connections to anybody in the current story, or like maybe him being the reason for Sheba quitting the Kabunabi because they they misused him. He's young and they their actions led to his death.
Is he gonna be Sheba's like hybrid?
Rico Amanai.
Yep. No, Cal, you're cooking. That's
Oh,
what I
God.
thought. Haibara. I think Haibara is a pretty accurate.
Yeah, I was gonna
comparison.
say he's more like
That's a-
Haibara,
Yeah.
which
That's a
means
good-
it's
that's a
gonna
better
be
com-
tragic.
Yeah, potentially. I also think that there could maybe, at least this was the vibe I got at first when I saw him, that this could be kind of the character that leads us to the whole Hishaku perspective of it all. At least for me, it might just be that he's kind of, he has kind of like the Yura fit, but he also does look a bit like Yukisada to me. He has the earrings, which we see a lot in the Hishaku. I think Natsuki's like the only good guy who we've seen, at least that I remember, kind of having piercings
Azami.
like that. Oh, Azami as well.
Well, he has
And
earrings. I don't know.
Natsuki's
Earrings.
the worst, the worst Masaka brother too.
Chill.
We forgot to add that.
Chill.
Let him know,
Me and
Cal.
Cal
Let him
agree on
know.
some things, and we're enemies on other things.
But I do,
I'm just an
my boy.
appreciator of both.
I do think that it's going to be a very relevant character, potentially in more than one way. Like I think for not only Sheba's character, but also for the whole conversation revolving, what's wrong and what's right in regards to like this whole Datanski and getting ready for war. We know that, and I think this is a good opportunity to segue into Sheba. We know that the whole reason why he kind of pops up in this kind of conversation that Dave the Diver Sorcerer is having with the mustache guy.
David Swimmer, bro.
Dave the Swimmer. Yeah, Dave the Diver's the video game.
Dave the
Apologies.
Swimmer is immortalized.
Yeah. So we know that they're trying to prevent war, right? At least that's where Sheba's coming from. This is 2 years. That is also important to point out. This is 2 years after Shikoku appears. So, it's interesting to think of what has happened the last 2 years, right? And how the war is probably about to start, all things considered. And so, yeah, we also know that, like we brought up top, Sheba is the Soga clan's guardian. So, we're going to be on the lookout to see how exactly this continues to develop, especially
So-
considering...
Did Sheba also introduce Kunishige to Soga? Because we know Sheba knows, he obviously knows Soga here, and we know he knows Kunishige because he talks about bringing him to Datanski. So I wonder if he's the one who made them and Soga and Kunishige became really cool really fast type of thing. Because we know Soga was said to be like Kunishige's right-hand man or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good question, and again, it would add a lot of more depth to how much weight kind of falls on Sheba's shoulders. So that is, I think you raise a very interesting question and something again to look out for as well.
There's
That
a
is
lot of
interesting.
relationships that we're finally going to get some elaboration on in this arc that I think is much needed.
Agreed.
I like the concept of Sheba introducing Soga and Kunishige, but then like Soga and Samura already know each other, and then Samura and Aruha know each other. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a
Be that
friend of a
it could be
friend, like
preparing war. Like they didn't meet each other till they started preparing for the war. Because we saw all Natsuki, Masaka, and Uruha. Like Natsuki didn't train in AI Puri style, but he did meet Itsuo Shirakai.
Yeah.
Who almost killed him.
Yeah, twice.
Twice.
And so like there might have been like war effort gatherings, like summoning all their troops type of thing, and it could be just preparing for a war that they all got like to know each other. I'm interested to see if we see like a young Azami here. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Maybe
Sorry,
we
I
see
love his-
Samura saying, "Man, I don't ever want a kid." Samura's like got like some bullshit going on with him.
Samara saying, "Damn, I'm gonna be a deadbeat one day."
Yeah, he's like, "Man, I can't wait to have a kid and never see him." Literally and figuratively.
All right. Can anyone else
Let me
agree?
chill, let me
with
chill.
Mora just needs to stay his ass dead.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want. I hoped that like that development wouldn't have been like even introduced in the series. Like, I think he could logically come back and it makes sense in the series, but I personally would like to move on from that.
I think his death was so thematically impactful, it would be such a cop out if he came back to life. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, it's a very touchy subject with the fandom because he really got shooters. Samura got the most shooters.
Yes,
for
for
He
real.
really does.
Trust. Like, and I get it.
Let's
I
be
mean,
real, bro
he's
didn't need him.
yeah, he's not the main character. I mean, his
He
story
was
was
own
great
shooter.
as is. Let it, you know, let that man rest, you know, as cat litter or whatever. But
Damn.
got it. I don't know, Dice. Like, I wanted to ask you this. What, like, is there a specific point in like the war effort, like preparing for the war, not the war itself? I mean, because I think we're all looking forward to seeing like some of the fights in the like from the war. Is there a specific point that you're looking forward to, Dice? Pre-war, like preparing for it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of what we were just talking about. I'm really looking forward to how all these characters come together. And that kind of applies to the Hishaku as well. I don't know if we're going to get that in this arc, because I do think it's, you know, the scope and the focus will be on the Enchanted Blade Bearers, Kunishige, guys like Sheba and Azami. But that is what I'm looking forward to the most, just how these characters come together. I think you guys did a good job of bringing up what we saw with Hokuto, Natsuki, and Uruha. Me personally, I feel like Hokazono does a really good job of interweaving character, like certain characters and interactions and how their motivations kind of bleed to one another. Like when you look at the relationship, like again, like you guys just talked about Samura, Uruha, but also how Natsuki fits into it, even Kiri as well.
Ibiki.
Whatever. No, but yeah, that's me personally. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like I said, it's been 2 years since we're stated that the scientists have been trying to get somewhere with Datanski, and they haven't done anything, right? So now that Sheba's gonna put Datanski in the hands of Kunishige, I'm really looking forward to how that kind of starts the domino effect of, like, you know, bringing these people together, right? The tryouts for who is the proper
Gathering of heroes.
yeah, that's a good
I
way
was
to
gonna
put
say
it.
I'm excited to see the selection process.
Yeah.
For the Blade
Yeah.
Wielders.
Yeah,
I think that would be very interesting.
Everything, yeah. Me personally,
especially
that's
like how Kunishige chose these blade wielders. Like, I mean, obviously some of them he knew personally, but like, how do you think he chose the other ones? Do you think he just inspected them with his eyes and was like, "Oh yeah, this blade will be perfect for you"? Or do
He
you think
saw
it was
Ibiki's
actual
back, aura farming, and he knew he
Yeah.
was meant for Plow Gouger.
He was
He's like, look at
"Ooh,
that
this
back.
Hishaku brother is the one."
Bro, thinking about now, I'd be so pissed if we just always see Ibiki's back. He's in the arc a good bit, but we just always see the back of his head. It'd be a hella troll, and I think
That'd be
Hokuzono might be a bigger
interesting.
shooter.
Honestly, that would be kind of interesting, but I do
Like-
think we will see his
That's
face.
what I'm
He
saying.
just speed blitzes everybody, and we just always see the back of his head because he's just so fast.
He's gonna have shark teeth like that one dude from Naruto.
I can see that.
I can live with that. I mean, it's
Oh, that'd be
turn
kind
off,
of
I can live with it.
cute. No, I
Uh,
think the sharp teeth would be cute.
I think, you know, Kunishige, the Gathering of Heroes, if you will, it'd be the Gathering Heroes thing. You know, like that. Maybe they sent out, like, you know, the government, send your best warriors to this location, and Kunishige, that's with his eyes, he's like looking, and you know, the people of skill, because remember, like, the better you are with
you
your
six
sword
are the
skill,
hottest.
is
He said, "You six are the hottest. Come with me."
yeah. Hey boy. Oh, well, there's a female in there, you know. So like, hey boys and girl, let's follow me.
my
Boys and
God.
girls.
Or maybe
Oh
they
my
did it
God,
like
bro.
like when they invented or when they created the NSYNC. Maybe that kind of collection process. These
Oh
are
my
the
gosh.
NSYNC. I'm just playing. But like Kunishige, you know, the better you are with a sword, the better, easier it is to like synchronize with your blade, because like, you know, the relationship between you and your sword and spirit energy and all that. But so he needs to have master swordsmen. There's no time for people to become master swordsmen, which that's why I think Natsuki got left out a bit. He was just lacking a bit, you know, at his young age.
Nah, you're not turning
this
this
is
into
great.
Natsuki slander, buddy.
Oh no, I mean like that was actually credit for me, because I think very lowly of. I'm just playing. He's cool.
Hey.
But like, so he's looking at all right. So first he's weeding out who's got the skill, and then, you know, like he has, you know, when crafting these blades, like he might have just like an attachment to them or understanding of them, because we know, like, I mean, we say like no one can understand a true round better than Kunishige. I think Samura said that, or I forgot who said that. But, or maybe Chihiro said it. But anyway, the like when I'm looking forward to see when he crafts the very first enchanted blade. Like I want to see the confirmation of what that sword is. No more speculation. What the first sword is.
I
and
feel
his
like the first one
reaction
was
to it.
Subaru's sword.
I can see that actually.
I feel like
And he entrusted
had
to like
be
the
first
oldest
one.
member, like the oldest sword master that comes, and he like just feels like that that's right. You know,
I feel like okay, like when we finally meet Subaru, like the perspective we're gonna gain from him is gonna be so interesting.
he's gonna die right like 5 chapters in when we come back to present time.
Oh my god, I hope not.
Kagura, and then Kagura gonna wield that thing.
I hope we at least get to see his sword style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the flashback.
Yeah, like that's a good point, Cal.
Yeah.
Pinky
Oh
and
my
Subaru's
God.
character arcs might happen just in the flashback.
Could be.
Oh god, no.
Oh god, I don't want that to happen to Pinky. People.
I don't want that to
said
happen.
it,
I want
Cal, you
Chihiro
said
to
it, bro.
learn from them. I feel like the story, it needs Chihiro needs to learn from them the
At
same
least
way
keep
he
Pinky.
learned from
At
Kimura.
least keep Pinky, please.
Yeah,
Well,
seriously, like we don't know
yeah.
anything about her.
Well, you gotta dodge the allegation somehow, Hokazono.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, please don't kill Pinky. Please don't kill
That, you know, and Carson, you bring up a good point. Like, I've always been on the thought that the whole point of this is for Chihiro to experience like the past, and that's what's, you know, all of his experiences throughout his journey kind of is gonna play into the final fight. And with Akka, he's gonna wield all of the previous sword bearer's powers on his
Oh,
own. So
wow,
it's gonna
that-
be like
I
it'll be
brought that
6.
up a long time ago.
Yeah, like I've been on that. That's been my big thing, because it's gonna be like 6 blades versus 1, but it's gonna be a 1v1 fight. Soga versus Chihiro. And
You know, that's a very interesting thought, because I mean, obviously, you know, he's gonna have to break the rest of the blades before on his way up to, you know, the Magatsumi. I feel like.
and the way Enten works, when he dies, it looks like Enten dies. You know, so
Yes.
that's how they get rid of all the enchanted blades from the world. Chihiro breaks them, and on Chihiro's deathbed, Enten will cross over to the afterlife with him. You know, like, and I think that would be really thematic.
Yeah, because
Chihiro's not allowed to die. Don't say that.
Well, he'll be old. He'll be like an 80-year-old man. We'll get a
Oh,
we'll get
okay.
a flashback, and it's
Be
his
a
funeral. We see
flash-forward.
his grandchildren, and you know, maybe his grandchildren. They want, you know, it's like JJK. They meet an alien then, and
Oh goodness.
Maru come. All right, let me stop.
Oh my god.
But no, I do think like you could see something like that, and you see maybe Enten on like the mantle of Chihiro's house, and at his funeral you
oh.
just see it like crumble away, or something, or like on his, you know, deathbed or something like that.
That's kind of cool.
He's like, time to pull out the gat. We got aliens to deal with.
Now we have enchanted blickies.
So listening to you guys, it made me think of like another thing that I would like to see in this arc, and I wouldn't really be surprised if it's explored, especially when we get into the Kunishige specifically side of things. We did just learn at the end of part 1 that the enchanted blades have this conceptual life, right? And we were just now discussing, you know, potentially what did that selection process look like? Is there kind of like this possibility that Kunishige might have been able to communicate with like the particles within the Datanski, similar to like what we saw with the fish, right? And that being exactly what allowed him to determine with his Rokuhira eyes what exactly was the proper fit, right, for the wielder or for the blade. That is something that I would like to see explored in this arc, because it would again recontextualize everything right before we head into part 2. And Karasu, you also brought up the, you know, what has been the goal up to now, right, which is destroying the enchanted blades. But at the same time, we know that at the end of, you know, towards the end of part 1, we saw Yura's argument, right, and about how the enchanted blades had their purpose. Now Soga presents a very bad example of what that should look like, but I cannot help but feel that Chihiro's mindset has, I don't know if change would be the right word, but it's definitely been impacted. And I think that's a big reason why we see, right, that last page, he's thinking of Kyora, Hiyuki, Yura, Soga, Sojo. He thinks of everybody who's kind of added a different point of view in regards to this conversation. You know, and with this whole still question up in the air of whether he's forging, you know, a hybrid, let's say N10 Cloud Gouger fusion, or if he's going to form 2 separate blades and Cloud Gouger, you know, being reforged into its own new blade. If his goal is still to destroy the enchanted blades, you know, why would he forge a new one? So that's also probably the next thing I'm looking forward to is, but that would be after the Seitei War arc, right? Is the goal still to destroy the enchanted blades or to kind of replace them, right? With maybe blades that have a different purpose, not forged during wartime. But when it comes to the Seitei War arc, I do want to see this whole conceptual life thing. I want to see that process of Kunishige forging the blades, and what is it about those Rokuhira eyes? What is it about Kunishige specifically that allows him to create these insane weapons, right? These insane blades. And again, how that bleeds into the selection process. I think that is something really big to watch out for, and I really hope we explore that in this arc.
Okay, so I got a little interesting thing for you, just to go off of what you said about the blades having a sort of like conceptual life, I guess. So just a little interesting backstory, lore, whatever. Datanski in Japanese, if you look at the kanji, it means stone, like
from heaven,
drop
right?
of heaven stone. Yeah. Drop of heaven stone. So if you think about it, like, I have this little theory that, like, in, you know, obviously in Kagurabachi, like, people are made up of spirit energy, so when they die, you know, their souls, whatever, have to recycle somehow back into the world because of the spirit energy of their souls. So, like, what if some of that is kind of like funneled into the Datanski? So it's basically just life energy in a stone.
You know, I got an interesting thing to kind of piggyback off of that. That's like kind of a tangent off of that. What if Kunishige's sorcery allows him to like view maybe the color of like the color of souls or something like that?
Okay,
and
Maru.
that's very headcanon.
Like Maru from Mojo.
No, like let me cook. We saw him communicate with the fish. We saw him communicate with the fish, right? And like he's talking to animals. Like, what if he's able, because of these swords have like a conceptual life, as Dice said, and you know, as Carson, your theory or whatever, it allows him not necessarily see the color of the souls, but it lets him view them differently. You know, I call it souls, but maybe it has like, that's what basically allows him to make that selection. He makes the best selection because he can actually see the color of the sword's soul, and then he can match it with someone who the color of their soul matches with the color of the sword's soul. That's very crazy and like crackpot theory.
Of the spirit energy.
Yeah, he's like, this sword is meant for you because he can see like the colors match. And I'm calling it colors, but it could be just, you know, something else. Color is just the easiest way to like kind of personify
Conceptually,
it.
I get what you're saying.
And
it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's that
it's
crazy.
a crackpot theory right now, but you know, like, and fish are living things, so it allows him to see that the fish, you know, are a certain way. You know, these swords, they have a conceptual life. It allows him to see how they, you know, their true you know, purposes or their true like state of being, and then he can match it with someone who has that same, you know, feel. That's very crazy. But I mean, we know he wasn't an enchanted blade wielder. Not saying that automatically means he has like a actual sorcery. But that's one thing that's kind of left up in the air. And
you know what? Just to say no, you're wrong. Just for the lore of it.
oh, please, I love it when
That
people do
flashback of him fighting off Hishaku and Uran and Hokuto's puppet with Enten is gonna go hard.
I'm about to say, I don't think I don't think there's much fighting back. Watch Kunishige.
I mean, hey,
dog. Soga trained him.
In that 10 seconds, the whole property was destroyed. So I don't know, man. He must have fought hard.
Yeah, or maybe they nuked him. They're like, you making nukes? Well, here, catch this one.
Yeah.
Here, catch this. You got hands, we got them too.
And one thing I am looking forward to seeing in this arc, and maybe it might happen if we see anyone from the Hishaku, like Dice kind of brought up. Maybe towards the end we'll start to see like people start forming the thoughts of the Hishaku and all that. Hishaku is the one that I think we would see out of this arc more than any of the other villains.
He has got to be the most important.
He's painted in like obscurity,
Yes.
Cal, what do you like? How you feel about Hishaku?
Honestly, I don't have much thoughts about him.
Fuck that guy.
In my up in my noggin, like
Where's the fedora, for Christ's sake, like
I don't know, honestly. Like I feel because a lot of people get fixated on him, which makes sense. He's definitely important, but to me, it's just like I don't know. He makes trees.
Like, why? He's a tree hugger.
I don't know.
I got a hat.
Of the year
body pillow. Nah,
I think Hishaku is going to be important because, like, he's the only member of the Hishaku we don't really know anything about at all.
Best genus, but we know, like, he definitely holds more narrative weight. He's the first villain we've seen in the entire manga.
Literally, he's the first villain that we see.
It'd be interesting to get his name reveal this arc.
He's the confidant. He's like Yura's confidant. I think he was like Yura's Sheba, where he enabled Yura to go on this journey to like collect, build this group of people with the same, motivations and ideals to follow him.
I mean, hell, he teleports with the same hand sign as Sheba, looking for crackpot connections.
Yeah, and like I could see him like basically enabling Yura and manipulating Yura to a degree to basically get the Magatsumi out in the open, so then he could like try to take it. But now that Yura sympathized with Soga's, what Soga did or his reasoning for it, that kind of threw threw a wrench in his plan. And like he wasn't expecting Yura to he was hoping Yura was going to kill Soga, and then Hishaku could then take Magatsumi from Yura. But now that this has happened, maybe we'll see him bide his time and start to formulate a different plan to try and get it from Soga. Maybe that's the late game twist is Hishaku is trying to wield the Magatsumi. And I hope he fails, by the way.
What do you think is up with his eye?
But like a final villain with a fedora? Ugh.
I wouldn't be surprised, Karasu, to answer your question if what's up with his eye has to do with the war. I do think he's one of the few Hishakus who could it makes sense that he was like a veteran or something. So that's my theory right now. It would make sense.
Yeah, he has a lot of information. He's in the know-how. It's like he's aware of everyone's skill, and
plus there's that panel of like the Kaminabi signing the peace treaty with Shikoku, and it kind of looks like he's standing there, but
he also could be. We know now that sorcerers were being sent to go get Datanski. That might not have been exactly from the war, but just him getting injured, like we saw Dave the swimmer here lose his arm. It could have been It could have been in a run-in against the assassins in Hiroshima.
That's a good point. He could have been a part of that. Yeah, because I mean, think about it like this, because we saw like Soga's henchmen talk about fighting in the war, and those are criminals. Those are probably the same sorcerers that, like, not saying them specifically, but sorcerers like them were the ones to like commit all those heinous acts in the war-torn areas, like Yura, like Soga's henchmen. Those types of people were the ones to like uproot people like Yura, his life and all that.
Could be.
So it's gonna be interesting to see like all the like the different types of like people we see actually take part in the war, because Japan as a whole is under attack, you know, or at least that's the whole, you know, what they're going with. So, you know, like even though they're villains in the current timeline, like that the one that kidnapped Char, or like tried to get Char, and they made that like circle thing under Chihiro's car. By the way, Chihiro was driving. I miss those days.
Right.
Times were simpler when Chihiro could just go for a drive. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of implications come from this chapter, and I think almost every chapter we're gonna get in this flashback is gonna be like that, you know, just because we've been waiting for it for so long, and
It's gonna be
he dropped at the
insane.
perfect time. I think, like Cal brought up, you know, the execution is great here. You know, like there's the one big thing with stories and manga, I think the execution gets fumbled, and you know, the story beats are like usually fine, but the execution's handled poorly. But this is something I think like Hokuzono just nailed the packaging of the time, like bringing it up as he did. So I'm really excited.
Hokuzono has been killing it since chapter 1. I mean,
Get the part 2 honey out. We need the other honey pot.
Right?
Double it.
The bigger one.
Double it,
and
give
like,
it to the
you know,
next part.
we're
Yeah.
getting the anime up too, like I already know. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know if there's like a Shikoku general that's like got, you know, he got a whole cloak, like a whole like cape full of Datanski stones wrapped on it or some shit. And you know, him
Jesus.
versus like Samura, him versus
Spirit energy and throw them like grenades.
And we didn't talk about this, but Soga's turn, you know, that's the big thing here too, you know.
Yeah.
Where does he change his character? And like we saw the baby, we most likely, you know, it was Chihiro as a baby with his mother's blood on the wrappings. So seeing that moment like internalized is going to be insane.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one thing that's like. Go ahead, Karasu.
Sorry,
I'm
go
sorry. No, you're good. You're good.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, agreed. Because there's like we already talked about right now. We'll regurgitate it, but there's like a lot of like points that kind of connect to another, right? Like there are a lot of things that kind of go hand in hand, right? And one of perfect example is, like I said, Sheba being the guardians of the Soga clan. We do know that Soga at some point becomes Kunishige's most trusted friend, or whatever he's called. And at the same time, we also see how like people in the government look at Kunishige right now, which makes a lot of sense when you look at like the divide and the infighting that there was after the Seitei War. How a lot of people like, you know, they wanted to do their own thing with the Enchanted Blades. Kunishige, it almost seems like he was looked down on. And this kind of like adds a lot to why that is, right? It does make a lot of sense. At the same time, I can't help but wonder is like, was Kunishige like actually how he's being painted to be? Or is it because, you know, we know that Sheba says like, oh, that's a bit harsh when he gets called just a weapons dealer, right? But at the same time, he acknowledges that there's nobody on his level. So I do wonder if it's literally like just kind of like the way the bitter government sees him, or if he was literally kind of up to no good. At the same time, how does the counter sorcery army fit into this? We know that Sheba right now, I don't know if he's also kind of, if the counter sorcery army has kind of already formed by this point, or if he's simply kind of working as the guardian of the Soga clan. It is tough to say, but that is like, that would be my third thing that I'm looking forward to, is how does the counter sorcery form? Are these sorcerers that were being sent to take Datanski on the low, do they eventually become part of the counter sorcery army? It's like, yeah, go ahead, Ty.
I think the counter sorcery army is already established at this point, and it's more like but like to your point, like seeing it like the whole war effort like being formed from them, and like I do wonder though if we're gonna see that transition into them becoming the Kamunabi, and because the Masumi also goes under the Kamunabi during the war.
That's my
the
whole
Kamunabi
thing.
Isn't yeah.
That's my whole
That's a good
thing.
point,
How do these different intentions kind of trickle down and everybody kind of starts choosing their faction, right? You bring up a good point in the Masumi. I had completely forgotten about them. But how do these ideals that everybody here kind of has different ideals of what should happen with Datanski, preventing the war and all that thing. Like, how does that eventually kind of turn into the different factions that we see? So like, yeah, the counter sorcery army, the Hishaku.
She believes the counter sorcery army.
I'm guessing the army must be a thing, because unless Soga's connected to the government, because in this chapter they do call Sheba a government dog.
And we did
Yeah.
see Soga and
Right.
Samura in that flashback go take out most likely like evil gang or something that had people like they took kidnapped people or whatever, and that's what it seemed like in that flashback with Soga Soga and Samura, excuse me. So I'm guessing the Soga clan that they may just be like kind of a hired hand, but that works for the government. Who knows? There is a lot of weight of like where, like to your point, guys, of all these factions of like where they fall.
Exactly.
How do they mesh? What's merging? What's disconnecting? Because a lot of people go different ways after this. So like and
So
Azami
interesting.
is a colonel, so he had, so the counter sorcery army had to be a thing.
I agree.
Because
At this point, he
got-
might be working as a
yeah.
counter sorcery agent right now.
he had to work his way up to get to that point, so they had to be established thing. For
Yeah.
someone so young to work their way up. That
And it's been 2 years, so it makes sense that in the last 2 years, the counter sorcery would have formed, and that's kind of like what we're seeing right now. Sheba running an operation, but again, and the last thing I'll say is like, where's the Soga clan then? And what was the Soga clan about? Because I think the only clan that we've really seen like that is the Sazanami. So was the Soga clan like a quote unquote like good clan? Where are they now? I think there are other things that we are kind of brushing over as well. Maybe not kind of like thinking about really, because there's so much on the table. But yeah, like, what happened with the Soga clan? Does that have to do with why Soga's ideals kind of changed? And if they were still
I'd
alive?
just like to point out.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that like Hokuzono, I feel like, God, how can I describe this in a way that makes sense? It's almost as if the full picture is already painted, but it's just blurry to us right now.
That's a good
it's
way
a
to put
magic
it.
eye picture. It's like a magic eye. We have to like squint and like blurry and shit. Yeah.
Yes, and like, but like when you squint, you can only see pieces of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
I don't
there's a
know,
big
it's just-
piece missing, but it's basically fully formed. Like we have all the pieces that we need on the board, but they're
Yeah.
just not. There's no
place.
clarity in it. Yeah, there's
Yes,
no clarity in
exactly. Like it's
Yeah, I
gonna
get
be
that.
it's really cool to see how slowly like different pieces of the board get clarified. I don't know. It's been blowing me away
it's
how
gonna-
good this series is.
It's gonna feel good to
Real.
get like definitive answers on things that we've been waiting for. And
Mhm.
like the Soga clan might be like the Gojo clan, where it's just Gojo and it's just Soga. You might go that route.
That's a good one. Yeah. I guess I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ty. We're gonna say something.
No, you're good, brother. Do you think, Cook?
Yeah. So, with the way Kunishige's painted in this chapter, do you guys think that this will kind of lead? Because me and Tiberius have talked about for a while about like wanting to see Chihiro go through a certain level of adversity that we just haven't seen yet. Like we've seen him struggle, we've seen him having to grapple with certain truths that we like didn't know as well. But it, at least to us personally, for the most part, it has felt a bit underwhelming because it hasn't really felt like it's been that hard for him to come to terms with certain truths regarding the Seitei War. With his father now being painted in this light similar to Sojo, which again I think is very intentional from Hokuzono's part, Do you think that is gonna spark something in Chihiro in terms of what we've seen from him? Because we know that he really looks up to his father. It's almost like in his eyes, his father could do no wrong, right? And I'll start with you, Kao, and then you, Karasu. Do you think that this will kind of really impact and shake Chihiro to his core in terms of what his father stood for and his actions during the Seitei War?
I think it could if he does, like, you know what I mean, like, figure all this out. And I also think with all of the Soga stuff, it was all so, like, he didn't really have time in the moment to really like think about the, I guess, the consequences or like the implications of all of it, because he was like, uncle, like, okay, you know what I mean, like, and so I feel like he hasn't really maybe gotten time to like fully process that. And so I think maybe when we see him in the present again, he may be a bit like, you know, as he should, I think, be like thrown off by that. And like, so Soga, but then also like that was, so like uncle, but then that connects to his mom and his dad and like everybody else, apparently Sheba, like so many different people. And I just think that'll be so interesting to see. And I do think we will get some, because part 2, it's just so hard to predict right now because there's so many, like, where are we gonna be, like, how long will it be past the whole Kaminabi invasion? So that is all just a question as well. And so it's so fun to think about because it's like, who knows what's gonna happen, and it's so fun. But I do think that we will probably get to see Chihiro kind of processing this new information and maybe like internalizing it a bit, because it's definitely a lot.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. How about you, Karasu?
So I think it's really interesting perspective because Chihiro has sort of this foresight that his father didn't have in making this new blade, and he knows the destructive power of them and he knows the damage they can cause, whereas his father had really no idea what he was doing. He Oppenheimered it, you know. He became destroyer of worlds.
Oof.
So
Good point.
It's going to be really interesting to see the direction that Chihiro goes, knowing that he has this perspective that Kunishige didn't have. And
that's a very good point.
Honestly, is like
he does have hindsight on his side.
I don't think we need to talk about like the implications that this story has on real life as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, and you know, I think like one thing about Chihiro, you know, like Dice kind of brought up, like Kunishige could do no wrong, and I think the thing with Chihiro is like, and we see it in the Rakuzaichi of him experiencing what a toxic family dynamic looks like. And that was important for him to experience because it's like all these arcs kind of introduced a different dynamic between to kind of parallel or contrast his own relationship with his father. And you know, when we see Iori, because he thinks of the question, if I could trade all my memories in for a life like Iori's, you know, because she's like a parallel universe version of Chihiro where maybe he did sacrifice all the memories to like just live as a normal kid. But he said, but we see his resolve right then and there that those memories are precious to him. So I think he just views Kunishige as the man that he knew him for 15 years. And he just accepts that whatever his father did in the past, you know, he just deems it as it was necessary, or he's learned from it. Not saying that it was right or anything. You know, and I think that bond will always kind of carry him through to the end of the story and be like, y'all can say whatever you want about my father, but no one knows the latest version of Kunishige, the man who he was after the war, better than me, because I spent every day with him. And you know, that is something that he does have in his heart that I think is strong enough to carry him through. And you know, to like what Dice was speaking on about how me and him feel about Chihiro, you know, he has like kind of dealt with like adversity, but like the 200,000 lives lost because of the Magatsumi and all that, we got that in the flashback. A lot of things we get from Chihiro, we find out that he's already known about.
Yeah.
And we find out that he found out in a flashback, and he's already resolved himself. You know, it's like getting like even the end, the last chapter in part 1. we just skip over seeing him deal with like Samura, getting potentially done in. That gets skipped over, and he's already like, his thought process is already sharp. He already has a plan. I would have liked to see him come to that conclusion though. Because that had to have been heartbreaking, still of sight for him to see, no matter if there's a still possibility, but he had to come to that conclusion at some point, and I would have liked to see that. I would have liked to see his reunion with Hakuri, and like see him come to deal with these things in real time.
Oh my god, I hope Hakuri's okay.
Oh, he's
kicking. His brain's, he's drooling, but
yeah, no, he's a vegetable now, but
yeah, but like dead ass though, like I just want to see that from him, because Chihiro's my second favorite character. I love him, but I'm gonna call out things where I think there's improvement on, and not everything's perfect either. And I'm sure we'll get to see Chihiro kind of deal with those things going forward, because I mean, let's be real, the fight's only just starting for him. Like the real fight.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
Nah, that was a good question, Dice. That's why I think Sojo is so great. To your point, like Sojo wasn't giving him a much needed reality check before he went on this journey of revenge, to like expand his worldview, and like I think Chihiro's big thing is like
second favorite villain of all time.
Yeah, Sojo is a god, bro. And like I think the big thing is like Chihiro not Chihiro saying this himself, but I think like the through line for the story is like proving that Chihiro couldn't be as like sound mind and be because he is a hero, and he couldn't be a hero if it weren't for the teachings of Kunishige. Kunishige, like instilled in him the ideals, the teachings, just to have like morals, a good moral compass. And Dice dipped. Oh, but something probably happened, but it's all right. We can wrap up here. But like, just to be like basically prove at the end of the story that Chihiro's going to prove that Kunishige's greatest masterpiece is Chihiro and not the enchanted blades. And what Chihiro stands for is what his father stood for at the end of the story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and we can wrap this up, though.
Sojo couldn't have been a more perfect first villain for Kagurabachi. I mean, it was perfectly introduced. He was the perfect foil to the ideals that Chihiro grew up instilled in him. I mean, just everything about him was just the perfect antithesis to everything he knew. And I don't know, it was so perfectly played, both philosophically and cinematically.
Think about this. After Sojo, what do we get as the next villain? A bad father.
Right?
And then after that, we get Hirohiko, who is like paralleling himself to Chihiro by like being drenched in blood.
Hirohiko, the abuse victim.
Yeah, and so it's like Hirohiko is a tragic version of Chihiro. I can see the story kind of painting it like that towards the end. Maybe Hirohiko does reach Chihiro, and Chihiro gives him that fight that he always wants on equal ground. And maybe he leaves Hirohiko, he doesn't kill him outright, but he's bleeding out. And maybe Hirohiko somehow like redeems himself to help Chihiro with his last breath, something along those lines. And, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. We'll wrap up here. And if y'all got any closing statements, thoughts, anything you're looking forward to?
Just so excited for the rest of this arc. Just like all
seriously.
interconnected stuff that Dice was talking about. I'm so much an enjoyer of like different arcs and characters and storylines all connecting in a certain way. I love that stuff so much, and so I completely am on the same brainwave of I'm just so excited to see all the different pieces come together and different characters interact, and just oh my gosh,
having the same being connected to Dice's brainwave is dangerous, by the way, Cal.
We're both
let you know.
Hirohiko fans, you know. It's just
Yeah,
it's
that's
the-
what it is.
It is
Crash
the
Out Kings.
brainwave.
You know, but yeah, like
I
it is fun to
gotta
see those
say-
threads start to be intertwined, but then like to
Oh,
where
God.
they're perfectly clear. What do you say,
Yes.
Carson? I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're totally good. I was just gonna say, check out the Kaminabi headquarters, y'all.
Yeah, they're cool. They're our enemies, but they're cool. I mean, shit, we might.
It's all right.
It's a mishmash
we've
now.
already had our we've had two. What is it? We've had two Christmas Eve's 1944s, so we're good.
This dude. The one thing I want to pose, and this is a question for the comment section: are we gonna see that famous Sojo panel in real, like in the flashback, like it happening?
Ooh.
That's what
I
I'm
hope
wondering.
so. I hope so.
We might
Oh my
see
God,
that
my goal.
the moment that happens. That would be really interesting. Cinema. All right, I don't know if Dice can join. All right, so we're just gonna wrap up here. But no, I appreciate y'all coming on. You know, me and Dice will hop on the Kaminabi HQ, of course. Or I mean, if y'all just want to get Dice on, whatever. You know, I do appreciate y'all
we
coming
can
on.
Get you both on again.
Facts. It was fun. This was a good conversation. You know, we appreciate it. Cal, I guess you're okay for a Sheba fan.
Stop.
Damn. Oh, thank you for having me on. It's been an honor. I've been a fan, so thank you.
He a fan. I'm just playing. That's so fucked up to say. I had like, nah, bro. No, I appreciate you though, dude. Because I mean, me and you talked a long time ago, and you know, we talked about, you know, you doing your own, or you mentioned you want to do your own thing, and you know, we kind of were like, yeah, man. I'm all down for people making content. So shout out to you for actually taking the initiative and making it happen. By the way, I've been meaning to tell you that.
I saw that marketing idea. I was like, Hishaku Hideout. How can I counter this? Kaminabi HQ. And
Yeah,
it
because
just
that was
fit.
literally like our third or fourth episode, and now we're a year in, and I mean we're almost at episode 50. So shout out to you,
Damn,
man.
you guys are way ahead of us. Our recording
man.
schedule is kind of whack.
It just it works because me and Dice aren't in school. You know, we just both have jobs and we're off on Sundays, so it works out real well.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for having us on. I appreciate it.
Yes,
And,
thank
y'all
you.
make sure to check out their channel. I'll have this uploaded today at some time, and we'll see you next week. Peace.